Welcome to the Millennial Republic. I'm your host, Matt, and today I want to talk about patriotism. I want to talk about how this country is in serious trouble, but we'll get into that more next. Having just celebrated Independence Day, we might have a patriotism problem as well as a lawlessness problem. But let's get into it. So, having had Independence Day just pass us by, there were, of course, lots of festivities, lots of people launching off their fireworks and having a great time. I was one of them. I spent way too much money on fireworks, but it was a great time. The memories that I built with my family were priceless, and seeing the smile on my kids' faces when they shot Roman candles for the first time was very, very priceless. I enjoyed it quite a lot. However, on the other hand, there is a sector of this country that absolutely hates America, and it's quite disgusting to see. And there were lots of protests, as you can imagine, that took place on the 4th of July. And while they do have their place, these aren't the kind of protests that you want to see on Independence Day. Take a look. So here you see Free Palestine protesters burning American flags, and this is in Philadelphia. And here's another view of it right here. Burning American flags, burning Israel flags, which love it or hate it. Look at that. That is an American flag on fire. That's what irritates me the most about this is that the same people that are setting this flag on fire are the same people that want to have you locked up for a felony hate crime if you leave a tire mark on a pride logo in the middle of the fucking street. And while, yes, we do have a patriotism problem, I think it's very important for people to be very proud of the country that you come from. In the United States, we have the freedom of speech. People can sit there and they burn that American flag, and it's their free speech. And you go to some of these other countries and you can't openly protest the government like that. You'll get locked up or killed. And you'll see a lot of these people complaining about how evil white racism is leading America. And yet, if it's so bad, then why are you still here? Quite frankly, why are you still here? And then the other problem that we're having right now is that we have these wide open borders. This administration doesn't care about America. They're flushing it down the drain with these open borders. And it's disgusting. And the biggest profits of this open border is the cartels. I mean, take a look at what Sheriff Mark Lamb had to say on the Shawn Ryan Show about it.
The cartels weren't making as much money. They've gone from making $500 million to $13 billion a year.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Can you say that again? So from 2021, they went from 500
in 2020,
million?
they were making $500 million a year to 2021, now making $10, $13 billion a year.
Wait, we're talking 1 year?
That's how quickly it changed. And they're consistently making that kind of money now.
Holy shit.
Why? Because of the human trafficking and the drug trafficking. So fentanyl is a big part of it. And the other part is they've become global. What we did with the open border policies, you gave them the ability to grow their businesses. Why? Because you gave them cash on hand. Where does the cash on hand come from? It comes from the people who come from all over the world who now are going to give the cartel $5,000, $6,000, up to $50,000, depending on what country you come.
Now, this man is a sheriff down in Arizona. I believe he's, like 50 to 100 miles away from the southern border. And he's the one who's seeing all these things come across the border and come into the community. And he's the one who's telling DHS about it. And they're just now catching on. And this has been going on for at least the last 3 years. And it's inexcusable. And these people are coming here and they're killing our citizens. I'm sure we all remember Lake and Riley, killed by an illegal immigrant. You had that 12-year-old, I believe down in Texas, that was killed by an illegal immigrant. What was it? That 12-year-old girl, that they raped her for 2 hours and then left her body. And not only is the administration not doing anything about the southern border, leaving it wide open. They're actively facilitating more of the illegal immigrants to come over here and do unspeakable things to our citizens. Our women and children are being killed by these people, and a lot of them aren't even from the Latin countries. They're from other parts of the world. I want to play this video for you so you can see what I'm talking about here.
I just spoke to somebody that's relatively high up in the Border Patrol. They had told me, I don't know if it's the government, I don't know who created this app. Have you heard about this?
CBP1?
Yes. There's an
it's
app.
garbage.
Who created that app?
The DHS, Department of Homeland Security.
Department of Homeland Security.
And they love it, by the way.
Created an app where now people can claim asylum from their home country, and we will actually fly down there and pick them up.
Yeah.
And bring them here.
This administration having flown 300,000 Haitians into our country directly. Even if you fix the border issue, they're still going to be flying people in from other countries because they went through the CBP1 app. The cartels have completely learned how to abuse and use the CBP1 app to benefit them. They extort people and say, hey, look, we'll help you get through the CBP1 app, tell you what you do, this is how much you have to pay us.
Man.
That's wild. Homeland Security created that app to help them come into this country unlawfully. And I know here's another thing that concerns me too, is that there's not only human trafficking and cartel activity going on down there, but there's terrorists coming across the border. All right, so I want to play this clip, and it's a former CIA targeter, and she's talking about how she thinks that they might attack in the United States when they're in here, because they are coming across the border. It's a fact.
What do you think it'll look like when they start attacking within the U.S. and Europe? Is it going to look like what we just saw happen in Russia?
They're always going to do that type, right? Because that's the soft target. That's where terrorism comes from, right? You're terrorizing the people. You're making the government look bad. I don't think that's going to stop. But I think they care a little more about spreading Sharia in Islamic State. And you don't get a lot of benefit if you carry out 10 attacks in America, because then America's okay, we're going to get back involved in Afghanistan, right? They want to build this safe haven. They want to grow this safe haven. They want to train their new fighters. They want to expand, hopefully, into Pakistan, and people let them. So we have to look at it in the way Al-Qaeda looks at it. They're very patient. They have a long plan. We're a piece of the long plan, but they don't get a lot of benefit from doing X, Y, and Z. It's not saying they won't do an attack. It's just they have things that are so much more important to them. And remember, they're still getting a win. They're attacking Americans in Iraq.
I see all those videos, and it irritates me. And having had Independence Day pass us by, I'm extremely grateful to be an American, and I really hope you are too. And we really need to start holding our politicians accountable and close our southern border so that we can, protect our country and protect our family. Because you have the cartels getting over here, you have human traffickers getting over here, you have terrorists getting over here, and they are absolutely killing American citizens. Just pull up X any day of the week, and you'll see 1 or 2 stories a week of another one getting killed. And it's disgraceful. So, and with that, I want to thank you guys for watching. If you liked this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show with your friends, and I'll see you in the next video. Deuces.